So, international relation how do we approach repeat latest latest trend, latest development, latest issues that is the current affairs update that is there. Current affairs papers deal I will repeat again. What are the objectives of, or what are the national interests? And then what is the foreign policy of India or international relationship or engagement of India with that particular country trying to achieve? Historical underpinnings of that relationship. I see basic understanding the and aduga internal dynamics of both the countries but the finer details at the curricular level, the engagement level, curricular treaty signed over, those were all facts. That those are the things that we need to keep on updating. So, India and Nepal relationship we can't say that this is how do I put it? How do I put it in word? Nepal relationship beti roti relationship because of the close relationship. Geographically also Nepal is landlocked on 3 sides with India. The beti roti relationship economically the relationship that India and Nepal has economically is integrated over, and on the other hand matrimonial alliance India Pakistan Nepal relationship closeness in interdependence reflect it is a reflection of that scholar beti roti relationship India ga Nepal ga relationships relationships, if we were to trace this India's Nepal relationship, India has a historical and strategic relationship with Nepal. Historical relationship since ancient times. Buddha the birthplace of Gautama Buddha itself is in Nepal. We have a historical relationship with Nepal. So even during the British times, British we have this relationship based on treaty. Is India company the Kingdom of Nepal relationship Nepal demography so so most of them Nepal we can basically divide it into 2 zones. See the Mathakisina hilly areas listed. Madisi Hive groups. I'll come to that later. Madisi Hive groups in a Ayambalay. So I call you Sagman groups in Ayamana Mathom the later. The Madisi things in Ayamba Makarum Misebo. There I reason I've said. I see that. There I reason and I bomb. I see that I am the money later. So, Masigi, India and Nepal relationships, going back to historical times, we have this relationship, close proximity. And the relationship, not only the relationship of kinship, but also the relationship of culture, the relationship of language. Nepal is the only Hindu country. India is not a Hindu country, but Nepal is a Hindu country. And culturally, Buddhism, Hinduism, we are very close to Nepal. And Nepal, as I said before, is landlocked on 3 sides. From the side of Indiana, landlocked. So it's a landlocked country, but not a very small one. And the peculiarity of Nepal is that the Nepalese, the people of Nepal, pride themselves as a country which has not been colonized by any foreign power. That's their pride. I don't know. India and Nepal relationships of course, disregarding all the histories and the ties that we have. When I say disregarding, I'm not saying that it's not important. So after independence, the India got Nepal relationship, how the engagement Nepal interest in Karino, India interest in Karino, I would say. Before going to that, Nepal was a monarchy. I think in 2008, was a monarchy, constitutional democracy in 2008. Yes, it was in 2008. Mamang the monarchy ni Moise. I don't know. Ashini, keep that in mind because I'll come to that and link with some other issues later on. I don't know how the independent Pankrabatungda Nepal objectives and India's objectives and how do they interact. India's 1947 the independence Pangre. Then Nepal was never colonized. Yes. Of course, it doesn't mean that they were not under some influence of other power and so Masida Akoina Nepal relationship with India relationship with Nepal ours is mostly centered on China. Because our former prime minister, the first prime minister of India, even Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, even I think in the floor of the parliament, even admit that Nepal cannot have a close relationship with different with other countries as India. India the Magala in relationship to something like that. The minor high instances like and not only that. Nepal say we mostly viewed through the prism of security. I see this is a matter of fact. Aduga by saying that adu hairaga atop aspect ying de hibernate but adugi prism ayamana ying India's relationship with Nepal say India ki policy me amse ko aduga akoina security ki prism de ying hairaga against whom our neighbors to the north China Nepal was engagement with India. For them, it is a necessity. They were landlocked on 3 sides. Towards the north, the Himalayas is there. The topography, the terrain is such that, of course, things are different now. Imagine in 1950s and 60s, with the technology, with the lack of infrastructure. So to have a very close relationship with China, trade links, even now, you can say that things have changed a little bit, but not much. So Japan, Nepal, India's for them, they have to engage with India at any cost. India also have to engage with Nepal. I'm not saying that India does not need Nepal. India needs Nepal. Yeah, what I'm saying here is India's relationship with Nepal, 1950s in our early days, we tend to focus more on the security arena. Foreign policy style, thinking that it was also because of the historical events and historical happenings of those days and the geopolitical landscape of those days. About 1940s and 50s, what do we see? Indian independent like I said, I'm repeating again because I cannot change history. Cold War On top of that, there is this China to the north, communist China. And then communist and China's Tibet policy. Aduga, on top of that, Mao Zedong's foreign policy masulay, five finger of Tibet. Asi they moin has it. Masiki policy se karino haraga. Tibet se considered as the palm of China, and as hariba Nepal, adudikidi Ladakh and Ladakh to the west called Ladakh. That's for representation for Tibet or palm ne khalo ko sida Ladakh later. Adudikidi sida Nepal later. Adudiki Sikkim later. Bhutan later. Adudiki Nepal. Matam madu to ko Arunachal Iris. So not officially published another commerce officially published or related to book. It is there, like they have the Yadev. So I think Doglam crisis this was in news, the five finger policy of China. I think and they believe that these are areas which needs to be liberated. Tibet to they say this is liberation of China, right? Their operations in Tibet. So why? Because they claim that these areas are China claim those areas in based on their history, Chinese influence whatsoever. So adugum policies and then there is this China's policy of Tibet, and then India's own security needs, and also Nepal apprehension about China, and also the necessity, the geography of Nepal, and the historical proximity and the historical relationship with Nepal dictates Nepal to look towards India, and also India to look towards Nepal. So during after independence, the like scenario though. So aduga the treaty border area boundary the treaty that was signed between East India Company and Nepal. We carry forward so boundary in India and Nepal boundary East India British Nepal signed down of boundary agreement to dependent on. So we carry forward that legacy. And the 1950 treaty of friendship by money. Exact technical name though. India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Yes. India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1950. I see. Was it India and Nepal relationship? I am based on this treaty. Was it a free move, open border? Nepal we have open border with Nepal. Treaty the base of but it does not mean that there was no Nepal India border city. It was kind of very porous matrimonial kinship relationship cultural ties strong there was separate distinct hostile independent India relationship shape. It is mostly based on this India-Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship 1950. I am based on it. So we can say this is the foundations of India's relationship with treaty foundation at the top historical relationship, cultural relationship, and relationship. Masigi treaty the based on. Aduna masigi treaty sida kari haige haidum tamda. We will not go into each and every detail of the treaty, but we'll discuss what is important ko. Masida kari no hairaga, hauzik akhona hairiba open border visa darkar laitaba ko. So nang Nepal akhona Nepal chatpa matamda we don't need a visa. Akhoi using residential proof lairagadi dum chat yare. Aadhaar di yaad ko. I have the privilege of going to Nepal once, and akhoi chairman party karago ID purakpada Aadhaar card purakna changba yaadna yam wa ki mal hai. So Aadhaar card yaade residential proof ko India ki voter ID ai aduga driving license PAN card kumba ho dugum yaani. Residential address yawa ko dugum yaani. So we have open border treaty with open border with Nepal. So Nepalese citizen of Nepal can come to India, can work in India, can settle in India, and can own a property in India, and the vice versa. Indians also can do the same. Adubu Nepal ki side te gidi masigi provisions ira ahongba matam depending on the political calculations of the Nepalese government or the or the person in power or the kings in power. Masida moina the Indian citizens and industry owned over land owned over industry owned over yadaba dumu provisions matam tungina moina the home pura ko. But from the Indian side it almost remains the same ko. Adu laire or adubu that adu laire harga ILP restriction aduga ziki tribal area sing the yadaba adugum didi moi Nepali citizen chambi yade ko. That remains the same. Those restrictions still apply to them also. And then the Nepali citizens can also work in India for government employee OVI, except for few services like All India Service, IAS Kumba, IPS Kumba, IFS Kumba Budi Yadre, Mogitam of the in India citizen and Nepal government service to Tobiade. Dugumalay. Adubu hi India Nepal relationships in the treaty that I am face for you. There are very strong opposition to this treaty. The Karigida to know how the treaty do I lack it come to that. And in hand classic horror, I think when Indian neighborhood policies deal to the country by country specific when a chat India has an asymmetric relationship with its neighbor, and neighbors of India look at India with suspicion. And India is accusing of being a big brother. Big brother treatment, big brotherly attitude. The same applies to Nepal. There are many truth to that also, especially with regards to Nepal. I think maybe it's also because of the cultural proximity also. The family handline about family matter type to deal to international relationship protocol the issues India Nepal relationships. As you high India Nepal Treaty of Peace and Friendship 1950 kana signed on the side of Nepal, it is in Nepal monarchy, monarch signed over the king. India, it is signed over ambassador of India to Nepal signed over the Musitri. I do already protocol. I am Erectra, Swerectra. Moji side it's the king. For his side, just an ambassador. Ambassador. Aduna, we are accused of treating Nepal as an unequal partner. The unequal treatment, unequal partner among treat over accusations and there are many truth to that also. This treaty article 2 it says that they have to inform each other in case of friction with neighboring countries. And then arms laibagumse atopa country laiba yadaba secret provision adubu high river masigi treaty gi opposition si karino higher aina ji haido wando ziki unequal treatment over type to tawe haido aduma like reko number 2 sina karino hairaga ziki high river they have to inform each other in with if in event of any conflict between other countries kumalaina aduguma laibase karino Nepal gi parties khara ko section kharana accused of say karino hairaga that Nepal's in foreign affairs international relation has been dictated by India. India na control to ba adugum gi picture khara like adugum romda moina khara objection raised over like so that is there adugu on the other side hojikti Nepal gi historical background khajitang khangse karino have the ainang sa have the hojiki and then India is also accused of interfering in Nepali politics, Nepal internal affairs in Nepal politics. I say nahan hek how the India's neighbor policy that India is sometimes in very different a difficult predicament because interfere Bangladesh ki matang that India's involvement with Bangladesh and the liberation of Bangladesh is a good one, right? I am a power step near a power intervention behind the lower. So we effectively deal with the issues of human rights violations and also the issue of migrations, refugee crisis. And then, of course, that is what the people of Bangladesh, the majority of the people of Bangladesh also wants, right? After that, there is this suspicions among our neighbors also. If India can do this, then why not to do this to Pakistan? Then why not to us? Even in Bangladesh itself. So Aduna, I think the same goes to Nepal also. So Nepal is in a like I said, India need a very good relationship with Nepal for security reasons. One, and also for the historical and cultural and kinship relationship that it has with Nepal. Nepal was under monarchy. The Nepali Congress have more parties Nepali Congress there were support on Indian freedom struggle during it, so there was support for the Indian National Congress from Nepali Congress side. Right? Aduga, howziki monarchy say it was under the monarchy, obviously is under the king. Adubu Masida Prime Minister Ranas have a party. Assistant Prime Minister, monarchy, king, whether real power is like claimed, alleged to have been exercised by this group. And the Treaty of 1950, the opposition it was accused of being signed with the Ranas. Ranas were signed over here, but they were not representative of the people. They are not elected by the people. I don't know. 1950 treaty said review there was call from side of Nepal, and I think even our Prime Minister in his visit to Nepal also highlighted that. But Madugi review was like not been very effective, mostly from the side of Nepal. And stability in Nepal. High river monarchy, so Nepal transition from monarchy into monarchy to democracy. India so India also played a kind of little bit of role. Nepal's transition from monarchy to democracy to the support of Nepali Congress, the NC Nepali Congress, yes. So adugumba lai. So adulai right, and then adubu I don't think those are very important, but adugumba relationship like suppose you think about it. Nepali internal affair India, if India is supporting any group, then what will the other group think? It is very easy for other groups to accuse the party which India is supporting for being the stooge of India. The India ki wangang lo hai tare na India ki spokesperson or India na ni aga thamba mi hai tare na India's a group or a party which is serving India interest. Otherwise, accused of yam lie na thoktra. But my point here is accusing India na Nepal ki political internal affairs da interfere tawbugi mami tarakuse. There are certain groups in Nepal which do not like this India's intervention in Nepal. But that is their internal political dynamics. Aduga hojiki Nepal da hojik lairibse party se Communist Party of Nepal United Marxist Leninist aduga NC asiko. So and this party is criticized for being pro-India. I don't know. These parties even raised. I think it's in 1990s election or 94. They even more election campaign the anti-India or like against the run those more the India these stooge ni like they're working under India's interest for India's interest. Like politics is politics, so accusations and political campaign based on anti-India rhetoric have died about. And then of course, they were in power for a very short period of time. But right now, the current Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Oli, is from this party. Oh, that's why. Lipule ki Kalapani ki problem Lipule ki problem it is under him, and then he's trying to get close to him, close to China. So this is the internal political dynamics reflecting in international relations, or vice versa. The question is, how should India deal with Nepal? As in a question, the question that is worth considering. You know, I come to this now. I might be little flow like the way I come. Sorry for that, but let me try to bring as much as flow into this. So, aside first, India's engagement with Nepal, we mostly look through this prism of security. And the 1950s, Treaty of Peace and Friendship signed out with the and I also talk about Nepal looking towards India and India looking towards Nepal. And then I briefly talk about Nepal internal political dynamics. Nepal issue group mayam lay United Marxist Leninist Communist Party of Nepal political parties but adunatava in the demography of Nepal, so in high grade Madisi high groups, and they were more close to Indians. India, they are mostly people of UP and Bihar origin. Like when India Nepal border, the UP Bihar the border area, and kinship relationship like Ayamana to the Adurom Gini Ayamana oil, as you hire Madisi Singse. Aduna Ashida Shuk. Nepal, India, the Amwaro So when we say Nepal, like Masina Har Madish Karino Haraga, then I said Nepal politics say what happened is Madesi Singh I think they nearly constitute 50% somewhere around there. Are a very huge number of population. But the power center is mostly in Kathmandu Valley, mostly in controlled by the hill people. I don't know. As in Nepal say, I'm reading this now. Monarchy the Gina, Hiriva, democracy the transition tower. And the democracy the transition tower Pumatamda. Political parties like the CPI Nepal, Communist Party later, the Nepali Congress later, the United Marxist Leninist later. Some of major political parties. Nepal monarchy democracy democracy piro and there are many up and down. So monarchy the Rana control Toramba, Ranas are the prime ministers but those prime ministers were not elected by the people, they were appointed by the king. So adu like first Ranas ki power of the king, monarchy in power but then constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy later the monarch want to try to assert his power again, abolish political parliamentary democracy, establish monarchy again. And later, the journey was up and down, but that's not of importance to us. What is of importance to us is India did play a role in Nepal's transition from monarchy to democracy through the support to these various groups and also through its intervention and dialogue with the monarch. Another important element crept in this transition of Nepal from monarchy to democracy. Then CPI creeps in, Communist Party of Nepal creeps in, then this creeps in. These are all leftist parties. So there were even the second phase, Jan Andolon 1, Jan Andolon 2. Jan Andolon 2 CD, it was an arms movement. But as the Moyi arms movement transition from monarchy to democracy, India played a role in this. And then they ended the monarchy in 2008, and they form a constituent assembly. So when constituent assembly is the same, constituent assembly is the same. They were to draft the constitution of India, constitution of Nepal, constituent assembly. So masi constituent assembly same there was there was a lot of disagreement in this constituent assembly. Most important for India is the issue of point of contention is issue of Madesi. The Madesi high group say in the constituent assembly, India position is no in constituent assembly same that is your internal affairs same, but we want an inclusive constitution. Madesi high group say constituent assembly same somewhere in 2014 14-15 advice Nepal constituent assembly the Madesis, they feel that they were being discriminated. The political elite of Nepal is mostly in the Kathmandu Valley, mostly controlled by the hill people. So the Madesis people feel that they are being discriminated, and then no proper place has been given to them. I might be wrong factually because 7 or 8, but I believe it is 8. As you hear constituent assembly in Nepal, so Madesi give Ani Rakata P Moy state. So Aduna Adu Yana Dava and one Yana Kidavali. That those are not important to us, the finer details. But what is important to us is the issue. If you want it, no note pirakpagana yawan birake kaide. So Madesi Singna adudadi kaidora. Hojiki Nepal city ainang sai haibudo. Nepal access 3 side to the India later. And then moigi lower Terai region the Madesi Sing later. Judi moi constitutional crisis later. Madesi Sing accept over kaidora. Access to Nepal is only through India. Majority of the access through India country. Madesi Sing blockade never. So there was shortage of supplies in Nepal in the hills. Shortage of food, shortage of oil. Masigi blockade sida. India na high visina. India says this is not our blockade. We are not responsible for the blockade. Madesi people, your own people, the blockade is on the side of Nepal. I never go. So, but the Nepali government says that or feels that India is responsible for this blockade. Aduna, when your access is blocked, what do? They go to their northern neighbor, China, and China step in. China flew in energy and food supply. So it is a kind of realization also that now the Himalayas can be bridged. The Himalayas, which was a barrier before, is not much of an effective barrier today. So of course, it remains as a formidable barrier. The Wenhaibadi engagement with China now, because of the presence of Himalayas, cannot be limited. Aduni, high river India and Nepal relationships, some of the irritants I've done in about. Adubu, akoigi exam point of view when hierarchy what is important is the growing emergence of China's in Nepal and India's BIMSTEC kumba the regional organizations Nepal involved Nepal Bhutan mayam yawbako machine hen like focused on of course India and Nepal focused on that should focus on the current trend hierarchy so nevertheless, let's come back to our topic. Madesi ki blockade Nepal go to China. And then, or let's say China step in. The apprehension of Nepal or the way Nepal looked at China in the 1950s and 60s is different from the way Nepal look at India now. Look at China now. And then when we are dealing with Nepal, what we have to understand is Nepal is an independent sovereign nation that we have to remember. And then it would be very unwise on our part if we were to micromanage and dictate Nepal, what Nepal should do and what Nepal should not do. So, because that has been that India big brotherly attitude has been one of the main line of attack towards India by our smaller neighbors. Aduna, India and Nepal relationship why Nepal need India? I don't know. First the high record because of the geography, landlocked on 3 sides. So naturally, geography dictates that they are dependent on India. And why not China? Hierarchy Again, geography. The Himalayas still present a formidable barrier. And also, the 1950s, the calculation of the Nepalese government of that time, the apprehension of China, and how's it hierarchy? If we look at now, but geography is the same in the 1950s, 60s, and also geography is the same now. And why in India neighborhood policy this high though. India's never always wants to use Chinese card to counterbalance India. We see this in Nepal also. As we see this in many instances. The transition of Nepal from monarchy to democracy, there were many protests. Like the king, they want to suppress the protest, and then there was this arms insurgency by the Communist Party. So they need arms and ammunition. Like, was in 1950 agreement, I said that there are some secret agreement which says that arms say India the first India the like the top country that without India's knowledge law we are the like, but still then when India did not provide these arms to the Nepalese government during that time, it was in early 1960s, mid 60s, 60 to 65. So I see that India peak. Why? Because of course India was like fighting war with China also during that time. It was there. And the other one is the concern that these arms will be used against the Nepalese citizen. Even India's arms be there. Whosoever is in power in Nepal, they bought arms and ammunitions, their necessary surface to surface missile air defense systems with China in violation of the treaty. So those are there. These are the ups and downs. India and Nepal relationship. Like I say, the geography never changed. Geography remains the same. I don't know how India is the main country for Nepal. Prime Minister KP Olina, whatever he wants to say, whatever his ideological orientation is, I think his first visit was to India. So Nepal ga India ga relationship sida kari irritants kari challenges laibra haibda the first the the feeling of unequal treatment by India's side and then we have some water issues the boundary dispute with the actually we do not have as much as problems but it's a very in that proportion like with the 100 KP only prime minister or so I see the lack of Lipule Kalapani the kind of lack of border dispute. So I know the west western tip of Nepal. I see the tri-junction area India, Nepal, China. I see the high river. Lipule Kalapani Limpi Duraya Abradman High Nepal. This area. Masikari Atopa area should lie, but those were not the very major issues. And the Ainang Sai High below. India and Nepal gave border issues, borders, it was the colonial border. I am going to call. The High Republic border, which was in news, the Kalapani issue, Treaty of Sagauli, British Singa, Nepal, Anglo-Nepal War gi loirakpada Treaty of Sagauli haina sign tawkibako. So read of this treaty. As you know, history gi dasu yaurakani Treaty of Sagauli haina ko. Masida demarcate tawkiba border ne bako. Masida demarcate tawkiba border se moina asida Kali River haina almost parallel to their longitudinal line called river flow tawni. So that was demarcated as the western boundaries between India and Nepal. Adu nazik Lipulai ka Kalapani gi border dispute city Karino hairaga. So this is with regards to the origin of this Kali River. I am on a current affairs follow already but I'll repeat. So there are two streams called. As Indian high ribs in a songy side stream to low Nepal hives in a songy side. So this is the main contention. But this has not been the issue for Nepal, like in a very major way in the past so many years. But what is more important to us is why do Nepal raise this question, and also why India don't want to give up this position. Because why strain the relationship with Nepal for a piece of land mere 300 square kilometers, I think. So that territory wise, why? Like, why should we strain our relationship with them? This question is both on the side of Nepal and both on the side of India. India this area is very strategic. So Lipulek, Treaty of Sagauli and Lipulek. I see you. What to do after every class. Read up on India-Nepal relationship after every class. So it is possible that aina haiba mukaido sida yauram da vi or masida noina paba matamda yaudam shu aina sikmai class da explain toram vi ko or aina historical like dynamics to the ayamana the yauroi ko moi notes to the yau kita vi. So but you have to read this is compulsory. India-Nepal relationship, any material, you can choose any material, but you have to read this after every class. Treaty of Sagauli ga hojiki hairiba Kalapani dispute to ado homework. It will only take you 30 minutes. 30 minutes would log the go. Maximum 45 minutes. And like that. Aduga Indiana Kari the Maktumasiki area is penning Drivno High Mutamda. This area is of very strategic importance to India with reference to China. I think Doklam is standoff layering Matamdo, a very high official of China's external affairs. He made some statement with regards to this Kalapani area. He says that they can, India cannot do anything if they just like if they can steamroll through this Kalapani. What they're basically is saying that if China were to come and occupy India or come through India, come through this area to India, that India cannot do anything. So, but disregarding what he says, what is important in what he's saying is that he raised the issue of Kalapani, and then also by doing that, the stake of this area, the strategic importance also rises. but India strategic importance to Nepal because of the geography, because it is a tri-junction between China, India, and Nepal. Aduga, because of the height that it has got. And then Nepal is height I think, like, to be really honest, I think they are using it mostly as a bargaining chip with India. The India relationship, like, because of that asymmetrical relationship, they want to have this as a bargaining chip with India. And then also this issue, and like when it comes to land, territory, border dispute, these are all very sensitive issues. And sensitive issue, to be honest, India ki more border disputes India and Myanmar relationship. So will there be any political party in Manipur who can come out and say that that piece of land is not important? I don't think there'll be anyone. I do not. But I'm not saying that that piece of land is not important. I do high when I call. Kabau Valley, for example, Kabau Valley has been with the Burmese since the Treaty of Yandabo. But the BJP, it's a party in power. I don't know what the position of BJP is on Kabau Valley, but let's not even assume. I'll just say. So my point is, but that and Congress also has been in government since for so many years after independence. But what has been done on the national level with regards to that? Not much, right? But any political party in Manipur says that Kabau Valley, is of not important to Manipur, or can any political party in Manipur publicly give up the claim, or at least the historical claim of the kingdom of Kanglai Park on Kabau Valley? I don't think none of them will be ready. Why? Because these are all very sensitive issues. Aduna, they have political mileage to score. They have the constituency to cater to the internal political dynamics. And then, as you high river KP Oli party say, in the past, they have fought election and also win election on any India campaign. Adugumba Lagunina. Masi as a bargaining chip, oina amasung, in more internal political dynamics as a tool. Oina season never get rake up the issue ni that's my personal view, and I think it's really very true also. I don't know answer you and so the possibility and exactly I don't hide the better use of language like that. So as he said, please read up as if Mr. Usfiya Yande. Aduga Hosik High River India ga Nepal ga relationship she kari laige haibdo ay amani high re adubu trade relationship kumba connectivity oiro ko aduga the power infrastructure development project, hydropower project, those were necessary. Or if you were answer even of course not necessary to write in all the answers, but depending on the questions that is being asked. Hydropower project or any project accusation is that India is all words, no work. I think accusation delay. Why? Because because of the delays in our project implementation. The growing Chinese influence in Nepal. So how the question before us is China ki influence the Nepal the rise and perhaps now China is the excuse me, India the Chinese investment in Nepal. So economically, China is more capable than us, that we all know. So how should we look at Chinese investment or Chinese growing influence in Nepal? Should we be very scared? Should we be wary? Or should we micromanage Nepal and should we stop Nepal from engaging with China? The question is, the answer is Nepal is an independent sovereign nation. That always has to be kept in mind. And the Nepalese people, they pride themselves as a country which has not been colonized. So, and also we cannot stop them from, since they are independent sovereign nation, we cannot stop them from engaging with China. But what we also have to know is that for Nepal, India remains #1 nation. It's the geography dictates as such. And in Nepal engaged of course, there is the need to review the 1950 treaty. Aduga, the project implementation, we have to be more faster, more effective. Aduga, India ka Nepal ka relationship deal to the protocol mayam say as little things ko we need to improve a lot on that. And we need to stop looking at Nepal just from China's prism. And we have to look at Nepal from what Nepal is. China ki prism we are looking and treating Nepal as our vessel. And I don't think Nepal is ready for that. And the Nepal ki Chinese ka engagement a rail project, road project, Tibet ki capital mostly Lhasa ka connect ki pipeline project it's going to be possible. Geography dictates that India will remain their #1 transit point for their international trade. And Nepal will still depend on India and economically. That being aside, about the current trends, what is more of a concern is, and this is still to be wait and watch, okay, is the possibility of Chinese recruitment of Nepalese, the Gorkhas. Indian Armed Forces, the Gorkhas, Gorkha regiment, and we are employing a lot of them. Agnipat scheme if you're following the news, Nepal is not in favor of Agnipat scheme. So, but this is a new still to be followed, and also a possibility. And there is some rumors or in strategic thinking circles, rumors or the possibility or the desire of China to recruit the Gorkhas into Chinese army. This is a possibility. Why? Because if you know China, China has the largest population now. But India will be overtaking soon. And also, China follow one-child policy. Of course, they have removed that one now. So because of that one-child policy, their demography is skewed now. So it is possible that there might be needing, and it might become a necessity for them to recruit the Gorkhas into their army. And also, what we have to remember is Nepal, because of their landlocked geography, is not like their domestic economy and job creation is not strong. So India is one of the main source of employment for Nepal, for the Nepalese. And Nepalese also work in West Asia and other part of the world. And Kalo, the possibility of and I most of you must also be aware that the Gorkhas did not serve not only serve in Indian Army but also they serve in the British Army. Yeah. So now imagine the possibility of the Gorkhas serving both China and India, Indian armies. But this is like the emerging possibilities. Okay, it has not taken a shape yet, but we should be ahead of the curve, right? We should be able to look at the future. So now Chinese engagement with Nepal is mostly on economic infrastructure development front. And then what China is doing is China has a lot of Mandarin language school in China, in Nepal. Mandarin language school. Why? If I'm learning Chinese, why should I even learn China if I don't need to work in China or if I don't need to engage in China, right? So, but there are many Mandarin schools in China, in Nepal now. For gainful employment, for engagement with China in China or for any employment or any gainful activities with relate in relation to China. So, this is the growing connections between Nepal and China. And also, Communist Party, the leftist party in Nepal, is very strong in Nepal. And that is why that ideological orientation can be seen in KP Oli's ideologies and policies. And also, India ki left-wing extremism based on Maoism. Naxalism, I would say, it's not dead in India yet. So there is still the possibility of building a nexus between all these groups, right? So these are still not dead yet. And also, I told you before that India and Nepal have an open border. So, asi confused at niko marakta open border ga free movement regime. Ekoi India ga Myanmar de laireba relationship ka Nepal ga India ga relation border tongale ko amana free movement regime hai bani asina open border niko. Do not confuse with these two. Nepal, Burma we cannot go to all part of Myanmar without visa or passport. But in Nepal, we can do that. So, open border policy like Nepal territory is being increasingly used by Pakistan terrorist organizations called Pakistan ISI, establishing their cells in Nepal and then pushing fake currencies, arms into India. And if you're following the news, even some of our Manipur-based militants were captured in UP, Bihar, Nepal border, or some even in they were en route to Nepal. As you know, Nepal is being used for anti-India activities. So India, India na fight tawge what do we need? We need to keep on continuously engage with Nepal. So, of course, that engagement is there. We like India, Nepal, whether they want it or not, this geography is destiny. Geography has sets for them their destiny. They have to engage with India, and also India have to engage with Nepal, and India cannot let Nepal fully embrace China disregarding India because we cannot afford that. So that is all about India-Nepal relationship. So and then one more homework is we have Gorkhas or Nepalis in Manipur, right? So from Manipur state awareness for MPSC and also historical need to know the history of Manipur, part of history of Manipur. Nepali or Gorkha in Manipur. Asida read up to Karamba Matamdagi, Manipurda Masi Mayamsi Lakibno, and Karamba Ningtauna Manipurda Mogi like Pampiki Bno, Adumba Kangilo. So that's the end of our class today. So if there is any question, please text me because now I have to go somewhere. Let me go and get some food from my friend's place. I'm paying a chat to I don't know. Have a good night, everyone. If you have any question, please leave me at. You can direct personally message me or leave a question in the group. So I'll be here for 2 minutes. All right. So if there is anything, if not, let's end the class. And like I said, please read without fail what I tell you to read in the class. So if you're forgetting, Indo-Nepal relationship call, and then Treaty of Sagauli. Treaty of Sagauli, Navalipu Lake dispute. Aduga Gorkha in Manipur. Gorkha or Nepali. Actually, state awareness Neko and MPC Maru Oeko. We have to know. What you have to know is you may say that they are not indigenous people of Manipur, whatever. When I say you, I'm sorry, I should not have said you, but some of you might have this. But what you have to understand is Gorkha Haidra, Nepali Haidra, I don't know how do I say, Ekwendi Nepali Haidra. One of them from Manipur is a MP. MP Neko, Raju Bista, I think I forgot his name. Darjeeling, Manipur born. And later, and Noziki, as he hired a group, say, I think they are demanding for extension of Panchayati Raj in Kampopi district in some areas. The Gumalay, this is issues in our state. And they have been in Manipur for a very long time also. They're part of Manipur, so when I talk about them, please, if I'm giving the impression that I'm giving an indifferent attitude towards them, I'm sorry. It's not about that, okay? So we should be aware about everyone who is living in the state. And this group is one of, we cannot say they are the minor group, one of the major group. Not major hierarchy, but one of the group hierarchy, and they are, way more than some of the minor tribal groups like the Tarao or the Aimol. They are way more than that. So we need to know something. We need to know about them as part of our history and also as part of our awareness about the state for MPSC. So please do read up on this. So good night, everyone. Thank you. See you day after tomorrow. Stop recording.